25 kilometers southeast of Kigali, bulldozers are carving a runway out of dry plains that, a decade ago, most people had never heard of. 3,750 meters long, built to handle 8 million passengers a year, then 14 million. Price tag, $2 billion. Qatar Airways owns 60% of it. Here's the question that doesn't get asked enough. Rwanda is landlocked, 14 million people. Its borders with its closest neighbors have opened and closed like a valve for the last 10 years. So why is this country building one of the most ambitious airports in Africa in a region that can barely agree on keeping its roads open? This is Rwanda Digest. Start with the map, because the map is the whole story. A mega hub like Dubai or Doha doesn't survive on local ticket sales. It survives on feed traffic. Thousands of regional flights funneling passengers into long-haul routes. That's the entire business model. For Kigali, the natural feeder cities are right next door. Goma, Bukavu, Kinshasa, Bujumbura, Entebbe, Nairobi. And that's exactly where the plan runs into trouble. Over the past 10 years, security tensions with Kinshasa have repeatedly disrupted cross-border trade with Eastern DRC. Burundi has shut its border with Rwanda more than once. Uganda and Rwanda fought their own trade standoff that froze overland transport for years. So if the neighborhood is this unstable, where exactly do Bugesera's passengers come from? Kigali's answer: don't rely on the neighborhood at all. Fly over it. Qatar Airways already owns 49% of RwandAir. Add its 60% stake in Bugesera and the strategy becomes clear. Build a corridor where travelers move between Doha, Europe and West Africa without ever touching the regional chaos underneath them. Land in Kigali, transfer, leave. Rwanda becomes a waypoint, not a destination shaped by its neighbors. It's a clever way to route around geography. But you can't fully escape geography. A hub surrounded by volatility still faces higher insurance costs, tighter airspace restrictions, and stiff competition from hubs that got there first. Addis Ababa, Nairobi, both with decades of head start. Now for the harder question. The one people in Rwanda actually argue about. Rural districts still deal with water shortages. Classrooms still lack basic resources. Universal health coverage still needs constant government subsidy. So why pour billions into a runway that most citizens outside Kigali will never walk through? The government's defense has a name: Catalytic infrastructure. The logic goes, Rwanda has no coastline, limited natural resources, and expensive overland freight. It can't win on cheap manufacturing, so the state bets on services instead. Conferences, meetings, high-spending international travelers, foreign headquarters. Build the infrastructure, attract the money, and the revenue eventually funds schools, hospitals, and power grids. That's the theory. Here's the counter-reality. And it's not speculation. It's just how capital-intensive infrastructure works anywhere in the world. Mega airports lose money for years before they turn a profit. Until then, public funds and sovereign loan guarantees are tied up servicing debt, not expanding water networks in the provinces. Every dollar that goes into an airport guarantee is a dollar that isn't going directly into a rural clinic or fertilizer subsidies for a population where most people still farm. And then there's who actually uses the thing. A modern transit hub serves foreign executives, international tourists, diplomats. If rural communities are still waiting on basic utilities, the gap between Kigali's polished skyline and the countryside doesn't close, it widens. Bugesera isn't really a story about concrete and runways. It's a test. A test of whether a small country with almost no natural resources can engineer an economic leap through sheer architectural ambition and the right foreign partners. If Qatar Airways folds Bugesera fully into its global network, Kigali positions itself as the most efficient boutique hub on the continent. Small, sharp, hard to compete with. If regional airspace stays unstable, or the passenger numbers just don't show up, Bugesera becomes something else entirely. A multi-billion-dollar monument to top-down ambition, built in a region that arguably needed reconciliation and basic welfare first. So here's where it actually stands. What we can confirm: the airport is real, the financing structure is real, and the regional friction that surrounds it is real and well documented. What remains unclear is whether passenger demand and regional stability will hold long enough to make the economics work, and that's not something anyone can honestly answer yet. Is Bugesera the visionary move Rwanda needs to escape its geography? Or should that $2 billion have gone to schools, water, and rural hospitals first? Tell me where you land in the comments. And if you want the next investigation into Rwanda's politics, power, and money the moment it drops, subscribe to Rwanda Digest.